Hi everyone. I couldn't manage to get a decent recording this week, so I thought instead of showing you a live game, I would go over one of the interesting games that I played. If you really want to see a live game, by the way, I do have one that I've saved over on my Twitch channel. So my Twitch channel, the name of it is Jim's Chess, Jimschess, all one word, and the title of the video is called Making 12Q. I made it what's called a highlight video, and so I think that means that Twitch will leave it up on my channel indefinitely. Anyway, we'll find out if that's correct. Anyway, I didn't stay 12Q for long. I'm back at 13Q. For this game, my opponent was rated 11Q, so this is a one stone handicap game. I get to move first, and my opponent has no Comey to compensate for it. But other than that, the result is determined by what happens on the board. So he plays a diagonal move, which is a bit unusual, but it's all okay. I don't. It just stops me from playing a diagonal opening, which I don't normally play anyway. I play a 4-4 and a 4-3 across from each other normally, and he takes another 4-4 point. So I approach, and he backs off. So we get a pretty standard opening. I think I do something a little different here. I used to play like this all the time. This is a standard Joseki as well, and now white can play pretty much anywhere. I think it's common to play over here to strengthen these stones and claim some territory on the side, but he could also play an enclosure on this corner or approach one of my corners too. So Dwyron has been saying that he thinks that move is a bit slow these days, and he's playing this move instead, just going directly for the extension. So my opponent punishes me by immediately taking the corner. So he has solid points over here, and I have a group which is pretty safe over here. So I go and play another move elsewhere. I enclose this corner. So I'm just going by the standard corner side center. So he approaches my corner. I pincer. I could have backed off here, but then he has kind of an ideal two-space jump. Oh, and by the way, I didn't review this game with Leela, so these are just my thoughts on the game. Anyway, so that's why I went with it. And a kick would be the same thing. He has a two-space back off. So I went with a pincer instead. I went here, and that strengthens these stones, which are not necessarily alive. They have the ability to make eyes down here and also to jump out. So I have enough ways to live that I'm not worried about them now. And I put some pressure on this stone. He has to decide what to do with it. He could just jump right into the corner, but he plays here, and then I protect my corner, and then he jumps out. So he's looking to pressure my corner, but also he's looking to lean on these stones. He's got them isolated now, and he starts cutting away at their base. And I decide to ignore him. I thought these stones still had enough ways to live that I shouldn't worry at this point, and I should play a big move elsewhere. And if any of you have any comments on these decisions, I'd be happy to hear your comments. So feel free to make them in the comment section. But anyway, he jumps out, so it's clear that he's looking to surround this group. And so at this point, I do respond. I play a move up here to give myself the potential of running out, and also maybe give myself a little more, a few additional ways to make eyes. And then he responds to my approach over here, so he came back. He owed me a move over there, and now I play the normal Joseki here. I approach the corner, he blocks, and then I back off. I was thinking this Joseki would be good in this case because I could perhaps even link these stones up with these stones and get a big side over here. So this is acting as a large extension off of this enclosure. He continues to surround, and I continue to ignore his attempts to surround me. I thought these stones would be strong enough, and we'll see how this worked out for me. So right now he's really going for the kill. I guess he was annoyed that I didn't respond to him, or maybe just thinks this is the right way to play. So I have to be a little bit careful. I decide I want to keep these stones connected up, and I'm giving away my eye space here along the bottom, but I still have the ability to run out over here. And there's also, I don't know, a fair amount of space in that area as I run out, and maybe I can lean on these stones over here too. So, and as he crawls along here, he's not making territory. He's just taking territory. I mean, not taking eye space away from me in an attempt to kill. So I decide to sacrifice that stone when he cuts. I didn't want to just keep running and have a straight wall there. I wasn't quite sure if that would be a good shape for me. These turns here give me, these little hanes here give me possibilities of making eye. There's potential for an eye in this area. And I sacrifice a stone there and jump out. So I'm thinking I have a little bit, and I have some eye space here, and I have the ability to run out over here. So he continues to try and kill me. He's playing this stone, looking at that cut there. I protect the cut, and I also stay connected to this stone. And he extends. So here I play an interesting move. I think he's obviously threatening this cut here, which looks pretty dangerous. You know, it's pretty big to win those stones. So you might want to think about this. How would you play in this situation? What move would you play? And pause the video if you want some time to think about it, and also feel free to comment afterwards. The move I played is here. So I didn't simply connect, but I am protecting that connection. So if he were to play here now, I would play this move. And this is the idea. Now his stones are dead. So he can't, so that cut is not working at this point. And then this makes my connection to the outside more solid. So I thought that was a good way to play it. He didn't play there. He played here. I played another cut over here. And once again, I decided to sacrifice a stone and just get a few more stones on the outside. So he is, you know, for this attack, I was really kind of skeptical about this attack, but he is getting some compensation for the attack in territory in the corner. So that's his profit from the attack, is that payout in the corner. Let's see. He plays here, once again trying to stay on top of my stones, looking at some cuts here. I play on top once again. I'd rather have the outside, and I don't mind sacrificing a few stones there. So I connect up like this. He goes for that attack on these stones, which I was sort of expecting. I counterattack these stones, and I'm willing to give them up. Well, if he takes, I'll take back, so I'm really only losing one stone there. So he doesn't bother, he just connects here. And then I jump out on this side. And I'm playing this move once again. Actually, I'm playing this with the intention of actually killing these two stones and making an eye, but also giving myself more room to come out into the center. And then here he made a misclick or something. He played here, and then he asked for an undo immediately. And I gave it to him because this is a mistake. This move that I played here was threatening this wedge. And now these two stones are dead. They have nowhere to run to, and he can't counterattack here. I can Atari and win those stones faster than he can Atari any of my stones. So that would have been a big blunder. And so when he asked for the undo, I gave it to him. So he played here. And then my very next move was a mistake. Of course, once he's connected here, I have to connect. And and keep these stones all together here. And for some reason, I just forgot about that for one move and played here, and he took the cut. So anyway, that's what happened. So I think before this point, if we look at this situation, say here it's my move. If I protect, he could come on top. I could Hane. He could keep harassing me here, but I have some cuts. And I have ways to live here. So before my mistake, if we look at the way white's been playing and the way I've been playing, I think this is advantageous to black. He's spent a lot of stones in this area, but doesn't have a whole lot of territory to show for it. He got a big corner, but that's about it so far. He has a small corner here, whereas I have two corners and a lot of potential on the sides. And this is territory over here. There's a little territory here and here. But there's a lot of potential on both sides. So I think overall I'm doing well in this game if I hadn't blundered. But when I blunder here and I play there and let him play there, it gets me more on the outside here. But it's a big win for him to capture those stones because it now gives him all of this area as territory. So this game I think is about even. I think his attack was incorrect. I think he was investing too much in an attack that wasn't going to succeed, and he didn't have a clear way to profit from it. But when I make that mistake, then he's got the profit for his attack, and now the game seems about even to me. I'd also be interested in your comments on that too. Let's see. So he continues to attack this group, and I jump out over here to remind him that he's got all this open space here I could jump into. he decides to make some territory on the side, and he's also jumping out on this side. So he's obviously trying to prevent me from getting any kind of shape here. And now he jumps out on this side as well. So I decide to turn here and just see if he wants to let me out. He says no. I extend here to see if he wants to let me out on this side. He says maybe he'll let me grow a little bit, but then he wants to hane here. So he didn't want to hane immediately and have too many cuts here. But now he feels like it's safe to hane. But now these stones are almost encaptured. So, if I can capture these stones, I think I can live here. So I try to surround them. And I think this is probably a mistake, this cut here, because I immediately Atari it down. And I get to Atari this stone here. So I'm just trying to take advantage of these Ataris and get something going with these stones in the middle here, try and make a life here, or connect out depending on how he plays. Let's see. So I continue to surround these stones. Yeah, I guess my idea here mainly is to kill these, because he's disconnected these stones from, well, let's go on a few moves and I'll show you what I mean. This point he cut and then I connected there. So these stones over here are dead. He cut them off. These stones are all connected, and they're connected over here because this diagonal shape here, he can cut one side, but I connect the other. So these are all connected. And then this is a separate item here. This little T-shaped group of stones here is separate. So my idea here is to connect them up by capturing the stones in the middle here and just let him surround me. And that's kind of how it goes. I extend once. And now there may have been a way for him to stop me from doing that. Like if he connected here, instead of playing here, he played down here, I suppose, because I could have Atari'd here and kept running out. So I could have given more liberties to this group. Yeah, so I think it's a tough situation for white here. But anyway, in this case, I clearly am capturing those stones, and then I'm going to be alive. And he kind of forces me to capture by playing some moves on the outside. And, I hane once to give myself a few stones on the outside, and then I capture there at the last minute. So now this group is alive, definitely has two eyes here. Even if he invades in here, I can block and connect. So there's nothing he can do about that, and so he turns his attention to the center. He did get his one profit from the attack. Well, one profit from the attack he got was capturing these stones. The other profit he got was this wall here. And he starts to use that wall to invade deeply into my territory over here. So I defend myself. Maybe this wasn't the best response, but I didn't know. Thought it would be a bit risky to try and cut him off. That's something maybe a stronger player could comment on. So I just instead protect my corners and let him play some stones in the middle here and even capture that stone. But I was also feeling pretty good about all the stones I had captured over here. So I was thinking this is still an okay game for me. In fact, I think it is objectively about even. And so we get into some more fighting over here. And now I am starting to worry, because if I allow him to keep coming into my territory over here, if he takes away all this, then that would actually swing the balance in his direction. Because he does have, in addition to this corner, he also got a lot on the side over here. So I'm looking for ways to stop him from coming into my territory, and right around here I decide it's the time to cut him off. Yeah, so I play this stone here, which cuts these stones away from the rest of his group. I didn't know if I could disconnect these stones. Maybe I could have also tried to disconnect them, but I'm going after these stones right now. So it's an interesting fight here, because my stones are disconnected too. He's separated these stones from these, and he's now going to keep them separated from these two stones over here. So it's going to turn into a capturing race where both of us are going for the kill now, because the only way I can survive this is to kill this invading group of stones here. And the way for him to win the game and save those invading stones is to kill my group over here. So so the earlier going for the kill situation, he was just going for the kill. I was just trying to live. But now it's a mutual situation. We're each trying to kill. So anyway, I descended once over here. I didn't want these few stones to get weak. I want to threaten these two stones over here. Basically, I need to reduce the liberties on these guys as quickly as I can. This group has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 liberties right now. This has 1, 2, 3 liberties, and this has 2 liberties. So even if he manages to connect them all up, I should be ahead in the capturing race. But well, both of us, I think, make a few mistakes here. Let's go on. He connects ahead of me. I was about to push in here and force him to connect anyway. So he goes ahead and connects, and I push down on the other side. And he Ataris this stone, and I respond by connecting. I think that's a mistake. That just loses a liberty for no particular reason. I mean, that one stone is not valuable. It's not connecting anything. So saving that cost me a liberty. And maybe it could have cost me this whole race, but we'll see. Because at this point, he plays a move to defend that stone. He didn't want me Atariing there, I guess, and that might gain me an extra liberty. So maybe that was necessary. Maybe I'm still okay. Because I play this move, which is an Atari on those 3 stones. He connects, and then I have to repair that connection so he can't cut there. And now it's kind of clarified, I think. If we look at this, he's got 1, 2, 3, 4 liberties. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I don't think at this point there's any way for him to win the capturing race unless these 3 stones over here can be captured in 4 moves. But, if he starts poking at these stones, they can connect. I don't see any easy way for him to do that. Okay, so anyway, he continues with the capturing race. He plays there, I play here. He plays there, I play here. It's a little bit of a trick move. I decide not to capture it, and we'll see the trick later. He plays here, I play here. He plays there. I'm going to capture on the next move, but there's no need for me to give up that stone, I felt, so I extend here. Then he plays here. So anyway, he says I was misreading this. But this is a little trick. If I were to capture that stone, he captures back. So you don't respond to those little provocations, but you go ahead and capture this group. And now I can take that later if he doesn't save it. So at this point, I think I'm okay. Although, in fact, this is a pretty close to even game. It's just hard to count because I have to keep track of how many stones I've captured as well as the territory on the board, because there's a big discrepancy. I've captured a lot more stones than he has at this point. And he does have this pretty big territory in the middle. And since I just played this last move here to capture that group, he gets Sente and he blocks off that middle area. So he's clearly realized the importance of it. And my very next move here, I'll extend here, this is okay. I'm just thinking it's probably bigger for me to play a move over here. But anyway, I play some in-game moves here that are okay, I think. Extending my corner space or eating into his corner space and, Sente moves that he had to respond to. But this move was not Sente. I was just kind of going around the boundaries and ignoring this. And he ignored this move. So that proves it wasn't Sente and plays over here. And now that really limits what I can do with these stones, which before they had the potential to eat into this territory quite a bit. So I think I just gave back a lot of points to white. And he surrounded that on both sides. So I cut in. I get some Sente moves here just because this is almost cut off. But he connects up, and I poke in here, but this is too late. He can cut that off. I can't really do much about it, although I get a few Sente moves again. And this is a Sente move too, because I'm threatening to kill this group, so he has to play over here. And then I come back to the boundaries along the edge. So we're just playing a normal end game, and I think I have a slight edge, but it's a pretty close game. And then here he goes crazy and starts to try and live inside my territory. So this is when it gets dangerous, because if he can successfully live inside my territory, then I'm in big trouble. So I have to stop it. And let's see, he pokes there and I block, and he turns there and I connect. It's important not to just go straight for a capturing race, because that cut there would give him an extra liberty and I could get into trouble. So I connect, and I counted my liberties. I had 4 versus 3. He goes after it, and I extend here. I could have just connected here at this point. That might have been the simplest and safest way to play this. But anyway, I played here. He connected. Oh, where'd he play? He didn't. He played on that side. So, so I'm still okay. He's trying to eat up these liberties in here, but I have a choice of connecting over here or taking here to give myself some extra liberty. So I took here, he blocked, and then I connected, and now I really am okay after that connection. So let's see, I played one more move over there to make sure, but that might not have been even necessary. Probably wasn't. But I was actually feeling good about my position here, so I didn't mind playing a few slow moves. But well, we'll see how it turned out. And he played inside here, and this is more dangerous. There appears to be more space here, but these two stones. Let's see if I can make a marking tool here. These two stones secure this corner, so he should not be able to live over here. There just should not be enough room. But I have to play carefully. Let's see. I connected over here. I decided I didn't have to respond immediately. A little bit of confidence there. Gave him a second move. Then I poked in between there. And yeah, I kind of couldn't believe he was trying to live there. But it gets close, maybe because I gave him that extra move. But I did connect up those two stones on the other side, so it was worth something to me as well. And this is the point. He has to save this stone. I was going to cut and take it. And now I have to play very carefully. If I were to just, let's go back to moving. If I were to just extend down here, he could play here, and this group is alive. He has a way to make an eye over here or a second eye over here, and I can't prevent both of them. Like, for example, if I throw in here to take that eye away, he can play here, and he has two eyes there and there. I can't extend there. I can take this, but he can connect, and he's alive. And on the other hand, if I were to play here, he plays here, and then I play here to take that eye away. Maybe he's still alive, actually. Maybe I'm still killing him. He has to connect here, and I play here. I guess that's another way to kill him. Looks like, because he captures here, and then that's a false eye. So that's another way to kill it. I thought maybe he could live that way. So I was being pretty careful, and I played this key point inside, and this is definitely a move to kill. And it's a handy move to keep in mind. If we look at the space that he's got inside here, that's not really a space. He's going to have to fill that in to make that a solid connection. So he's got this 5 space eye inside, and the key point of that 5 space eye is right there at T2. This is the Jeep shape, and so you want to play there at the base of the Jeep, the front wheel there, or the middle wheel. Anyway, handy thing to remember. So I played there, and now that shape is dead. And when he plays in, I did extend once more, so we didn't get any weird co's in the corner or anything like that. Although it's not strictly necessary. And then we continue playing out the rest of the endgame. I think nothing more happens, although I was a bit slack here because I had paused at this point. I was kind of curious. I was having trouble counting, and so I used the estimator tool, asked it how much, what the score was, and it said I was ahead by about 10 points. So I just was casually playing things out here. I was passing and letting him fill in. So he got these moves in. You know, if I had back up, you know, if I had played, did I need to capture anything there? I mean, I could have poked out over here or here, and he would have had to draw the boundary back a little bit. So anyway, I was being a bit slack here and just letting him fill in. But I think I didn't lose any points, but I gave him some points in this area that he didn't have to have. And when he played inside, I ignored his moves whenever I could. I only captured when I was forced to. So I may have gained a few points there even. And then this is the end of the game, and I won by 1.5 points. So it was a much more close game than I realized at the end. So I really should not have been so slack. I should have been counting every move and making sure it was the strongest. So I gave him some points back in that end game, but I had just enough to win. What happened with the counting tool is that it had counted these stones. I had done the counting before he had finished completing this border here. And so it didn't give him credit for these stones here. I was still counting those as black stones, although it had white territory surrounding them, so I don't know how it thought I was going to live there. But anyway, that was why it had a 10-point error in my favor there. So, but anyway, that was the result of the game. And it was a fun game. I thought there was some interesting fighting there and pretty close. You know, if you guys have any comments on how I should have reacted to those aggressive moves, if you think I reacted in the right way or if there are better ways to respond, I'd be interested in that. And also, as I said, if you wanted to see a live game this week, you can always go over to my Twitch channel and look at that highlight video I made called Making 12Q. Okay, see you guys later. Bye.